Why did the king behead the inventor of chess? Who invented chess? Why did the king cut his neck? Chess was invented in this region, subcontinent. The game was invented by a man named Siza during the rule of the Gupta dynasty. There is a very important and interesting story connected with his invention. When Siza invented the game, he came to the king. In a state of happiness, the king said to Siza, "Ask what you want." Siza thought for a moment, and a few grains of rice he asked the king. "What do you mean?" Siza said, "You fill 64 boxes of chess with rice grains, but according to my formula." The king said, "What is this formula?" Siza said, "Put 1 grain of rice in the first box on the first day, double the rice in the second box on the second day, and double the rice in the third box on the third day, and so on. Double the previous box until 64 boxes are completed." The king laughed at this foolish demand and accepted the condition, and with that condition began the game that gave rise to a company like Microsoft today. It may seem like an easy task, but it was the most difficult mystery in the world, and today, 3,500 years later, it is not possible to fill 64 chess boxes with rice. The king put a grain of rice in the first box of chess on the first day. Siza took it and left. On the second day, the king placed 2 grains in the second box and gave them to Siza. On the third day, the number of rice in the third box became 4, and on the fourth day, the number of rice became 8. On the fifth day, 16, and on the sixth day, 32. On the seventh day, 64, and on the eighth day, it became 128. That is, the number of rice in the last box of the first row of chess became 128. On the ninth day, it became 256. On the 10th day, 528, and on the 11th day, it became 1024, and on the 12th day, it became 2048. On the 13th day, this number became 4096, and on the 14th day, this number became 8192. On the 15th day, this number became 16384, and on the 16th day, it became 32,768, and on reaching here, 2 rows of chess were completed. Now the king realized that he was in trouble because he and all his ministers had been sitting all day counting the rice. By the end of the 3rd row of chess, the number of rice had reached 8 million, and the king needed dozens of people to bring the rice to the field and give it to Siza. When the 3rd box of the 3rd chess started, the whole country ran out of rice. The king was astonished. He immediately summoned a mathematician and asked him how much rice would be needed for the 64 chess pieces and how many days it would take. The mathematician sat for several days, but they could not estimate the time and the rice. This estimate was later made by Bill Gates, 3,500 years later. Bill Gates thinks that if 19 zeros were added together, there could be as much rice in 64 chess boxes. Bill Gates said that if we put 1 billion rice in 1 sack, we would need 18 billion sacks, and it would take 1.5 billion years to count these rice and put them on the chessboard and lift them. If you like this funny story, please comment below and also share this story with your friends and followers.